guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is February 22nd. I am 29 weeks and 6 days pregnant. So I turn 30 weeks tomorrow. But I thought I would just do a random 30-week pregnancy update just because I just left my midwife's appointment to do that follow-up measurement of my fundal height, which I will talk about in a minute. We just did that, and I figured I'd record it all now and just loop it into like a general pregnancy update. So again, I'm kind of going off the top of my head, but just over the course of the past week, I definitely feel like things are starting to slowly shift in my body. I feel like I am starting to make that transition into the final stretch of pregnancy, which PS, I just can't believe there's only 10 weeks left to my due date. That's crazy. Speaking of due date, in my other pregnancies, I was pretty hell-bent on making it the full 40 weeks. The first time it was because I just wanted to, and I also didn't want pregnancy to end. So I really just wanted to get the whole experience of making it to 40 weeks. And then with my second pregnancy, I really didn't want my son to be born until 40+1 because of the way the school systems were. I really wanted him to be born in the new year and not on the last day of 2018. And so I was very determined to make it the whole 40 weeks. But this time I've had a gut sense for a while that this baby's going to come when I'm between 38 and 39 weeks. I just have this sense that I'm not going to make it. And I honestly think it's because at the end of every day, once my kids are fed and bathed, we let them sit down and watch a couple episodes of Peppa Pig on TV, and my husband and I pick up the whole house. So we clean everything. We get the laundry going, we clean the kitchen, get the dishwasher going, we take up all the toys, we pick out the kids' clothes for the next day. We just get everything set so that when we wake up the next morning, everything is in order. And it's like this nightly ritual, and I just tell my husband every single time, I swear to God that my water is going to break on one of these nights. I'm going to bend over and pick another godforsaken Duplo or Lego bit, and my waters are just going to go. I don't know how that's not going to happen this time. I just feel it in my gut. I reach a point, especially on the weekends, when I'm just doing mom life. I'm doing the laundry and the cooking and the grocery shopping and the dishes and entertaining the kids and, just doing all my normal routine things for the weekend. Even though they're my rest days, I'm not working out on the weekends. I reach a point in the day where my body says no more. My pelvis starts to get a little jankety. I start to get Braxton Hicks. I just start to get achy, and I need to sit down. So it's very ironic that my rest days are actually the most taxing days on my body. But I definitely am starting to feel that shift because my body is now telling me we're done. Got to sit down, got to rest, need to take a load off for a minute because things just start getting very uncomfortable. My son is very active in the womb. Unfortunately, and this is going to play into my growth measurement from today, he changed positions just last night while I was laying on the couch. He has been head down for a while now with his butt up in my left, upper left side, and his head is down. He's been in that position for weeks and weeks. And then last night I felt him turn, and I was terrified that he had done a full breach. Because now, ever since last night, all the way up until this minute, the only kicks I feel are directly on my cervix, which don't feel great. But I'm skipping ahead, but at my midwife appointment right now, she felt all around, palpated, whatever, and his head is now sort of in my left hip, and his butt, he's pretty much perfectly transverse across my uterus. And so when he kicks and punches and stuff, that's what I'm feeling on my cervix. So he's not fully breached, but he's not head down. Anyway, the movements that I'm feeling now from him, I'm getting a ton of really powerful kicks, and I get some really funny, I can only do this with one hand. I wish I had both, but he goes like pang, 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 like a bunch of like punching jabs in a row. It's so odd. But I can definitely feel the difference between a kick and punching. But also just large, sweeping, rolling movements, like whole appendages just, windshield wiping across my uterus is sort of like how I'm feeling his movements these days versus like the more gentle kicks and jabs and stuff. I do not feel that super full, stretchy, heavy, bloated feeling at the end of each day. I feel like, I feel comfortable. It's odd to say. And I had mentioned in my last video that if I did cardio at too high of an intensity, it would cause Braxton Hicks. But now I've really been able to step it up and push the envelope a little bit. My uterus does not seem to be bothered so much by like controlled cardio. It's more just the on my feet all day, up and down, bending down, squatting for hours and hours and hours that really starts to wear on my body. So really, like, I've been able to eat well, drink well, and not feel like I'm just bursting out of my body. It could also just be that my belly has had a chance to stretch, and so like there's more give there now. I feel like pretty good right now. I just feel like I'm settling into a rhythm of realistic activity in my life, and I'm giving myself grace for when I need to just really sit down and take a load off. In terms of fitness and nutrition and weigh-in, my fitness, like my workouts are steady as she goes. I'm still lifting for an hour Monday through Friday in the morning, and I'm still walking at an incline, like a brisk paced incline for an hour on my lunch breaks Monday through Friday. Yoga, I was like doing it specifically at night, but now I'm sort of just spreading my yoga stretches out throughout the day. I try to do several rounds of cat-cows and pelvic tilts and just pelvic stretches, downward dogs, that kind of thing. I just sort of mix it out throughout the day now instead of just doing like a 45-minute session at night. Mostly because I'm pretty exhausted. Like I'm needing to go to bed at around 9 p.m. and then I wake up around 7. So I need those 10 solid hours of sleep now to really recover and be able to tackle the next day. And the whole like doing yoga all at once at night when the kids are in bed, it just is not working for me right now in the moment. But my workouts are going great and I have like all the strength and energy to do them, which is nice, but it's made easier by the fact that I work from home. And so like I'll lift for an hour and then I come in and I sit for 3 or 4 hours and work. And then I go and I do my cardio for an hour and then I come back in and I sit for another 3 hours. So I'm getting a lot of just sitting, relaxation, recovery time between my workouts. So, and that's not what I'm getting on the weekends when I'm doing like mom life stuff. So I think that's the distinction there where I'm doing really well with having set times of like punctuated activity and then rest. I have continued with my nutrition plan. I am counting my macros just as usual, eating my normal foods. I feel great. I feel energized. I feel fed. I feel fueled. And I weighed in this morning at 73.6 kilo, which is the same I was last week. And so everything is still stable. Yeah, I've gained only 0.3 kilos since January 1st, which is a half a pound. And then all in all, between pre-pregnancy until now, I've gained 9.6 kilos, which is 21 pounds. So and this is the last week where I'm really being intentional about trying to maintain my weight. Starting beginning of March, I can go back to like the schedule of gaining a half a kilo every week until 40 weeks. And I think that will mean that I will have ended my pregnancy at like 31 pounds if I were to follow that schedule. So going on to my midwife appointment, I went in and here's the thing. So 1 week ago, I was measuring 4 full weeks ahead, and that put me like one measurement above what they consider the highest allowance for like a normal fundal height measurement. And 1 month prior to last week's measurement, I was only measuring 2 weeks ahead. So they were looking for a couple things. Number one, they didn't want to see that he was growing exponentially. So they didn't want me to come in now and then all of a sudden be measuring 5 weeks ahead or something like that. In addition, they wanted to see if I was still outside of the just general normal range of like measuring ahead. Because I think you can measure 2 to 3 weeks ahead or behind, and that's still considered a normal range. So I went in, and of course, you know, she palpates my belly, and I told her what position he was in the last time. And then she's like, yeah, he's transverse this time, but it is what it is. So he was transverse today. And when she measured today, I measured the exact same that I did last week. So now I'm only measuring 3 weeks ahead. And she told me that this was still a really good sign. She thinks that everything is fine. She said that if I had still measured 4 or more weeks ahead right now, she would have called labor and delivery and they would have scheduled me for a growth scan. But because it has like planed out and I'm now on the very, very top of that normal curve, she said that it's not necessary. So I'm a little bummed in a sense that I would have really loved to have gotten another ultrasound and gotten to see my baby and gotten some more information and stuff. But on the other hand, I'm also really glad that my belly's like not enormous right now. The plan is to just wait. My next midwife appointment is on March 8th, which I believe is in 2 weeks. I go in again, they're going to measure again, and then they will plot that little point on the graph and see what his growth is doing then. And depending on what that measurement says, they will proceed with getting a growth scan or not. So we're just sort of waiting and seeing, but things are good for now. I just hope this little boy gets back into the normal position because the cervical kicks are very odd feeling and a little uncomfortable. And I also just don't like the fact that he's moving out of the head down position so much. I know they do it. I know they can do it very easily for like several weeks in the early 30s, you know, like 32, 33 weeks. But we're getting to that point where he's getting pretty big. I just want him to stay in the same position. But that's my update for now. And I will come back, I guess, in 2 weeks and film my next pregnancy update. Maybe I'll wait until I have my next midwife appointment so I can do an update with that kind of information. So like and subscribe if you want to stay tuned and see what happens next in this saga. Otherwise, I will just see you guys some other time. Okay, bye.